Hello ladies and gentlemen, I am PANCZASU with part 2 of my Wild Walkers playthrough slash tutorial slash thingy. Wow, I have to say, I am amazed at your reaction to my Introducing Endless Legend video. That was amazing. Obviously that was mostly due to the fact that you do not really have too many videos about Endless Legend on YouTube or anywhere else, since the game is not available yet. But regardless, thank you very much for all the positivity. You are the best, and Amplitude for letting me do this as well, obviously. Yeah, anyway, let's not talk too much about off-topic stuff. Let us focus on our task at hand, which is surviving at the moment. We have lost our settler, if you remember, which was a very big, painful, annoying loss caused by my own stupidity, caused probably by the fact that I was recording late at night. So this time I'm going to do it a little bit more, I'll be smart about it. So first of all, I do want to grow this population since I'll use it to make another settler, but as soon as I do that, I'll switch into production and I'll stay on production as well. Why, you may ask? Well, that's because I'll need to make another settler and I'll probably want to give it some kind of bodyguard squad, you know what I mean. So that's one thing, and the other thing is, if I gather enough glass steel, which I will in a few turns, I will be able to actually give my hero the unique bow that I was given. But first things first, something very important, 1020 has hit, and I can go ahead and go for my empire plan. Unfortunately, I wasn't focusing on influence at all. It took me forever to gain my Founder's Memorial, so I'm not sure if I have enough. Yeah, I have enough for one policy, annoying, which is fairly annoying. Usually, on your first Empire Plan edition, you want to go for 2. So you need at least 30 influence points, which is something I neglected this time, regrettably. But it happened, so I'm not too salty about this anyway. So what do we do with this plan? Well, I have several options. One is go more dust for each population working on dust in a city. Very nice, very powerful, not necessary in every game when I want to focus on food industry alone. It's not like I'm suffering from the lack of dust or anything. Having dust would allow me to buy out things, it's true, but it's not as promising and not as good as reducing the buyout cost of structures and the units in a city. But all of this is nothing compared to plus 20% science. I didn't make a lot of science, so 20% is not a huge deal, but as you can see, let's go into a city, I'm still making 12 science. So once this kick goes into effect, which will be on the next 10, I will start gaining plus 20% of this 12 science. So that's some kind of boost, not a very big deal, but in early game, it is something. It would allow me to get more tech faster and hopefully advance to Era 2 as soon as possible, since in Era 2, I gain access to very big stumpy dudes called 10-eye walkers, or whatever they're supposed to be called. Texas Rangers, basically. I don't know why I call them Texas Rangers, honestly. Whatever, either way, those guys are ginormous, and you can see it from their life. They have a ton of life, they have a very high attack, very nice critical as well. The initiative is so-so, but the speed is also very... I mean, it's nothing to sneeze at. 4x4 is a standard, but it's still very decent. All in all, those guys are what Wild Walkers need desperately to stand in front of the archers and hold the line. On their own, they will not be enough because those guys are very big, but you cannot have too many of them because of how costly they are. So you may run into some problems trying to get a decent wall with those guys. That's why you probably also need some lighter infantry that you can assimilate from minor factions. Now, since the last video I recorded yesterday, and I've been thinking since then about colonizing this, assimilating this Ursus village. Why am I interested in this? Well, I said that I do not really like those Ursus units, that's true, they're called Ramblers if I am not mistaken, but on the other hand, they also lower the industry cost of my structures, which, considering the fact that I'm already producing a ton of industry, would just be almost an overkill. But I honestly am not sure if this is something I really want and or need. Since I have plenty of industry no matter what, I don't think I really need to lower industry cost of structures, since most of the time I'll probably not even have any sectors to make. I'll just have too much of everything at all times, so there's that. Anyway, next thing I'm going to make will probably be a ranger, but let's queue up Borough Streets just so that I remember I have it queued up. Finish my 10. Unfortunately, there isn't much to do right now because I lost all of my armies, which is kind of silly, but hey, it happens. And I guess I'll wait until 5 populations time around. So if I make the settler, it will not put my city too far backwards like it did last time. So I'm trying to play it a little bit more smart. Don't want to spend dust on making empowerment faster. It's only 1/10 and it costs a lot of dust, so the answer is no, I do not. Anyway, I do, however, want to have this ranger, and I can actually rush him, which is fairly interesting, so let's think about this. Borough Streets go to a last place in my build queue, which, by the way, I can expand this. I can expand everything there is. It's just easier to not expand it because I do not need to see more most of the time. So each of those units takes 4 turns to make. Well, apparently 3 and 5. Huh? Whatever, it doesn't really matter. Either way, I want to make both of these. And I also send here to my army as well. Even though it will cost my city some industry, I learned my lesson. I'm going to protect my army as much as possibly can. Either way, I think I'm going to actually save my never mind, still less cost a lot, I forgot. They used to be much cheaper, but after a while of testing, the devs decided to increase the cost, and most of the VIPs agreed with it. I can agree with it, but for Broken Lords it's actually very bad. I'll talk about it when we go into Broken Lords videos. Anyway, right now I guess it doesn't hurt to actually rush Empirement, or maybe Rangers are slightly more expensive and I will be able to help them already. And while units stay in garrison, I don't remember if it's just a reduced cost of dust or if they do not cost you any dust at all. I think it's the second option, they do not cost you any dust as long as they are in a garrison, so it might be a very good idea to just keep them stationed there for the time being. And I have no idea why I rushed them instead of the mint, because rushing mint would have been a wiser choice. Whatever. Finish my production and now going for a cellar, which means I can... Oh, wait a second. One more 10 and I would have 5 population, so let's just wait for 110, work on something else, and then go for a cellar. I think it's a fairly good idea. I'm waiting for the winter to strike, but it's still not here, even though it's more and more likely to come each time, because as you can see, now, every 10 we can have a winter, and the amount of 10s that we can have at most before winter strikes is lowering quite rapidly, so soon enough I will have winter on my hands, which will be quite nasty. For Wild Walkers, winter is actually pretty bad, they do not have a lot of ways to deal with that. Anyway, what is the next tech that I want? I do not really care about the healers. The support unit for Wild Walkers in my eyes is not the best. It does have some interesting buffs, like I'm pretty sure they can increase your defense or critical chance and whatnot. But on their own they're kinda worthless, and I would much rather have another ranger instead of those guys. Some people would disagree, but that's just my personal opinion. What do I want instead then? Well, I do want to go to be able to parley with other armies, I mean manufacturers, but that's only a bit of it. I guess lowering the buyout cost is decent, and I'm tempted to go for just that, since I will not have access to luxuries anyway. But I also have plenty of glass steel and titanium, so what I want to do instead is go for glass steel and titanium weapons. I don't want to go for armor, because as I said, my people are so squishy that even with the best armor they will still die very easily. They're not meant to stand in front of the enemy and fight, so going for armor would be kinda pointless. I would much rather keep my people as glass cannons, and advanced alloys allow me to do just that. Afterwards, I think I'm actually going to go for more dust on rivers and waters, because of the rivers in the region that I want to colonize, but maybe I'll go for prison slaves and volunteers first. I'll think about it. Anyway, now I can focus on industry, since I'll actually start making my settler. Thank you very much. 2 turns is okay. Do I want public library before Borough Streets? By all means, yes, because Borough Streets in this scenario, when we go into Fid's icon, would give me extra 1 science in a city, 2 production, and 4 food, which is decent, but I need more science more than anything, and this gives me 10, and plus 20%, so you can see why I would want to go for that. Alright, let's end the 10, and in 1 more 10 I'll actually have a settler. I'm not going to buy him out because I don't have the dust for it, and it would be nice. Unfortunately, winter may strike when I want to move to the next location, which is very annoying. Winter is threatening because it lowers your... what's it called? Movement allowance, that's it. And without it you cannot really get where you want to get very quickly, which is something I'm banking on. So anyway, this army, I'm going to start moving it in the general direction of this place, which is very descriptive, I know. Now, somebody destroyed the Devil's Village. I'm hoping that the vultures were just like, might as well kill them. But it also might indicate that there's something more sinister going on, like they might be trying to colonize this region right now. If they do it before I do, I'm in a pretty bad spot, but since it is early alpha, AI is by far not very intelligent. It can hold its own, but it's not very intelligent, so I should be able to conquer its cities fairly quickly and fast regardless of anything. Even though Wild Walkers, actually now that I think about it, Wild Walkers are actually fairly decent warmongers just because of how many troops they can make on their own. Anyway, as you can see, I didn't take any risks, I just assigned a hero to my army, and actually I think I'm just going to equip her with this bow already. I mean, look at this beauty. Ah, so nice. Oh yeah. Do I want to give her any armor? Well, it does lower my initiative, but then again, I actually want it to be low, because on the off chance I'm attacked by an enemy group that is far away from me, I will not be able to get into firing range in 110. I want them to walk towards me first, so I can then fire at them and still have my entire action to do so. So I want to purposely lower my initiative, and that's why I'm going to leave armor on my hero. So this apply, this is going to cost me 6 glass steel, but nothing else. That's fair enough, I can spend some glass steel. Let's check if it worked. It did, good. Making sure, in the past it used to be a bug associated with item equipment, but I'm pretty certain it was fixed, and it sure does look this way. So I don't have anything to worry about. No sign of voters or manufacturers, which still makes me worried. I'm very paranoid in general, in real life and not real life. Fake life, I guess we could call it, or games, that's also available. I think I'm going to actually stay on industry production, or I don't have to, I'll get public library in 110 anyway, and I really do need more population more than anything, so I can wait on borrowed streets. Then again, they would give me extra 4 food, but each worker gives me 4 food as well. So honestly, I kind of want to get another worker first. So let's do just that, end my turn, and be ready to colonize a new region, which so far is going fairly easy. I do not see any resistance anywhere. It's very strange that I see so few military units, even though I'm surrounded by enemies. My guess is that they killed each other, and now there's nobody to kill me, and that's fine. I have no problems with that whatsoever. I think that's the spot where I wanted to colonize. It's a very nice spot anyway. Not the best, but it's good enough. And there are some voters. So anyway, quest updated. I gave my people optimism and new purpose by finding a city in a new region. That's nice. Now I need to grow it so that it produces a decent amount of industry. It's extremely... let me say that again. It's extraordinarily easy, because my hero is on, if you remember, I'll just show you this hero in a second. Where are you, dear hero? Inspect... Skill tree, yeah, his gives my city +5 flat bonus to industry, and also +1 bonus to industry for every forest tile. So this city already produces 6 industry. I need to go to what, 20? Let's have a quick look, 25. Well, it will take some work, but it's not a very big deal anyway. So there is that, my army is still there. What do I want to go for first? Well, honestly, I kind of want to go for Mill Foundry, and my reasoning is because it will help me fulfill my quest. And quests are good, and this quest in particular is actually a very powerful one, because it gives you Visions of Glory reward, which is, have a look. +5 influence when a city improvement is built on wild walkers. +5 influence! Do you imagine what this is? Every time I make a structure, I gain 5 influence. Sure, it's a one-time boost. Maybe I can actually raise my structures and then remake them. I don't know, I never tried it, it just popped out in my head. But either way, it's amazing, and it will allow me to accumulate enough influence to do anything I really please, so that's very nice. Also, this also works on region improvements as well, so that's mines, watchtowers and whatnot. I cannot make watchtowers yet, so it doesn't matter too much. So either way, it's very nice. I can see that there are others nearby. I can actually assimilate them right away, and I'll do so. I need the infantry, that's the first thing, and secondly, more dust is again very nice. I will not say no to that. So I could either do that or just go back all the way over there to the Ursus village and assimilate them for slightly cheaper buildings. I don't think it's a very good idea. I'm just going to assimilate the Delvers. Thank you, voters, for allowing me to do this. Unfortunately, this also means that I resigned from a quest from those Delvers, and I'll have now to rebuild their village, but either way, they are now assimilated, so I can actually make dredges, which is very nice. That is exactly the kind of unit that I was lacking as a wild walker. Let's equip them. They need to be as tanky as possible, and fortunately, dwarves in pretty much every fantasy ever serve this purpose quite wonderfully. Also, those guys look really cool. I mean, look at those guys. Kinda intimidating, aren't they? What kind of weapon do I want to give them? Well, I kinda tempted to actually go for a 200 hammer, which is made of bones, because why not? But the problem is, it does lower initiative by quite a lot, but it also disallows me to use a shield, which also lowers my initiative but gives me +2 defense. And I want this defense, so I'll leave this guy as is. Soon enough I'll have access to better weapons in the form of glass steel weapons, so I'll use those things. Now, there is a Voltus army. It looks like there are just 2 units of marines, which means I should be able to take them on. I've got superior equipment, and I've got a hero. Hero is better than any unit early in the game, no matter what. And even late game, if your hero is at least slightly leveled up or equipped with decent weapons, heroes are awesome. So divers are now assimilated to my empire, very nice. You can go away screen, thank you very much. And I finished making library. That's also fairly nice, another 4 turns before my population grows. And then I'll focus more on production in my main city. Reason being, because I will need to make more things like more units and whatnot. And also I will need to be able to make borrow streets fast. And that's because of one of the main quests. If I recall correctly, will require me at some point to raise the level of my city or borrow streets to level 2. How do you do that? It's very simple, I'll tell you that in the future. You basically have to make enough borrow streets around one section of a city then it will be raised to level 2. It doesn't give you too many benefits right now, it's something we've been discussing on VIP forums quite a bit. But hey, it works, and it's part of the quest, so it's a wise idea to go for it. Anyway, new population point in 110, that's because this area is extremely fertile, there's a ton of food nearby, and that's also another reason why I can just go for Mill Foundry ASAP, because I have the food I need right now. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I still need a few turns before I can unassign hero, so I might as well, as I said, hey, go away. I might as well go ahead and handful those waters, kill them, so they do not have more units they can defend their cities with. Oh, I went the wrong direction. That's why you always want to move one square at a time. Not square, a hex at a time, because then you can make adjustments when you need to. Now I moved into the wrong region. That said, this region seems to be a fairly big one, and it also looks kind of promising. It does have a choke point over here, so it will be very annoying to make a city in this location if I want to go from north to the south. But over here, let's have a quick look. There's black dust, very nice anomaly. There is clay, which apparently is also an anomaly. I guess that's because of how it automatically creates, I don't know, caps and whatnot. But it's a decent one, not the best, but it does give you some extra production dust. There is a very beautiful anomaly, chromatic land, I like it a lot, but none of those anomalies give you happiness, and that's the problem. So they just give you increased yields, and that's not a very big yield increase that they give you anyway. So just those forest tiles, because I'm Wild Walkers, are actually more tempting than anything else nearby. Besides, I do not have any easy access to those anomalies anyway, because there's a village in the way. I can ban this village, but I cannot erase it from the map. It will always stay there, and I cannot build anything on top of those ruins. So, no, that's the wrong button. So, you get my dilemma. And the winter arrived. Let's dismiss it for a second. Winter has started, the season has changed to winter, making life and movement more difficult. Oh, believe me, it does. 50% reduction in movement speed. -1 food on terrain with food. -1 dust on terrain with dust. Less vision, less vision, less vision. And also... And also because I'm Wild Walkers, that's right, I gain extra civic resources during winter, because they like focusing on military basically, the way I see it, during the winter, it's too cold for the Wild Walkers to just go climbing trees, so they go underground and mine. Which is, I'm pretty sure that's not the lore exception of this dilemma, but whatever. Either way, it is something we actually did not look at, and that's the Empire bonuses for the Wild Walkers. First of all, I'm a Wild Walker, so that's that. I gain extra industry on terrain with forests, and actually that's where I'm supposed to be going. So, Day of the Woodlands, and... oh, there are no... The effects are not described under all of those things, so that's a little bit of a bummer. But still... it's good enough. Also, the sharing, you may have been wondering why I can see that there's an enemy army over there. That's because I have the sharing ability, which basically kinda allows me to connect to the nature itself, and I can feel that there's the enemy somewhere nearby. And that's how it works. So, the Wild Walkers on themselves do not have a lot of starting abilities and things. They do have a bunch of text, they also have Way of the Woodlands, which is something I can acquire later. But they only start with living towns as their trait, which is a very powerful trait, don't get me wrong, and the sharing, which is not as powerful but very useful. Allows me to plan my moves accordingly. So anyway, let's not talk about that any longer, let's actually go ahead and keep exploring. Now winter is probably the worst season to scout around in, because you see barely anything and you can explore very, very slowly. But hey, we'll take it. Avnis has actually grown, that's very nice. I'm going to again increase the amount of production again, and just rush Mill Foundry as well. I want us to be there ASAP. Now, I'm going to rename my cities. It is only a mini-series I'm going to record right now, so I'm going to just call them in a very, very simple manner. So for example, this will be my, I don't know, capital. And this place, I don't know why, apparently caps lock is pressed, whatever, let's shout, capital, it's my home city. And this area is going to be, I don't know, Moria. So, Mortia. Let's go with Mortia. Why not? Mortia. It's like the sister mine of Moria. And that's where the dwarves live. So, I don't recognize it. Also, exclamation marks. I mean, not exclamation marks. All caps is going to annoy a lot of people, so this will be hilarious. Anyway, 2 more techs until era 2, so what are the 2 techs I want to get right now? I do want to get extra dust from rivers, so because I have them, so I'll go for that. Accessories are nice, but I think I'll just go for accessories in tier 2 instead. So what do I really need? I still do not see any luxuries anywhere that I could use, so instead I'm thinking about actually just going for language square, so I can start negotiating with tribes. So let's go for just that. I think it's a fairly decent idea. And end my turn. Now, I also need to scan around the enemy area because I do want to be launching wars. This miniseries should not be lasting for too long, because otherwise we will never be able to get to the voters and whatnot. And I know you people are striving to see some voters action, so let's try and focus on that. I can actually assign my hero right now, which is very nice. I'm going to do just that and assign my hero to this city, which will boost my industry to 34, which is more than enough to trigger the completion of my quest, which is what I needed. Keep in mind, completing quests is actually very, very useful. Do I want to improve this village? Well, it will lower the production costs of delvers. It used to give you extra population as well, and right now it doesn't. I think it's a change that I just didn't notice in one of the most recent patch changes. You have to excuse me, patches come very, very frequently. So yeah, it's easy to miss them. So anyway, a new city is useful for my growing empire now, that's very nice. And more quests. Number 3, that's Post and Lintel. You can again read the law if you so choose, so desire, by pausing the video at an appropriate time. Go ahead, you can do that, that's not a problem. My objective is to go into Untainted Ruins with an army led by Wild Walkers here that I just unassigned. And I need at least 2 range units and 4 units from minor factions. So I have plenty of time and it will give me Break Wall. Which is, it actually looks like... It looks like Voltre's shield, but either way, it's not a very good reward. It's nothing like the science reward and technology award I was given, which is right here, as you can see. Already researched, it's pre-researched, and nobody else can get it. So that's very nice. Aside other Wild Walkers if they get the same tech. So anyway, our city has grown in population. That's my main city, if I'm not mistaken. They want to keep working on food. I honestly don't think so. I'd much rather focus on industry and just go for as much of everything as possible. My approval is going down because of districts and expansion disapproval, and this will go even further down as I make this porous streets. So I think that in this specific situation I have to go for sewer system. I will not gain extra influence from happy approval because I will not be able to go into happy approval, most likely, but still it will be fairly useful. Then I'll finish making borrow streets and probably go for some titanium, because I will need it at some point, it will be useful. Right now I have enough glass steel and I do not really need to worry about anything else, but still something I should consider going for. So let's explore the ruins. More dust, no quests. I am really, really unlucky right now. Even though it's possible I wouldn't be able to complete those quests, but there are so many good quests in ruins and I just was unable to find them. I don't think I ever had such a bad luck in Endless Legend, really. So yeah, that's fairly annoying, considering that I'm recording all of this and whatnot. Anyway, I did want to upgrade my units, since now I have access to better weapons. Do I want to give my rangers better bows? Yes! This will make those rangers very expensive, but also the fact that those bows are now made of glass steel really does increase my damage and critical output. And as I said, those guys are glass cannons, they need that. I will not upgrade raiders though. Giving them better weapons not only is expensive, but also doesn't serve much purpose aside from the shields, since I do want those guys to just be as tanky as possible. But then again, it will cost me an entire 1 unit of glass steel just for 1 extra defense on dredgers, and I only have 1 glass steel mine at this point, so I don't think it is entirely worth it to just upgrade those guys straight away. Instead, let us finish this turn. My hero has leveled up, that's very nice. And it's possible to give him assignment cooldown, which is useful, especially in my situation right now. But what I need even more is extra industry production to grow my city faster, which is exactly what I'm going to go for. Next is probably going to be a sewer system again to make the city actually happy, because then I'll gain increased food and industry production. Or alternatively, I could just go for more science, which is also a decent idea. Or I could actually make an army, and I need an army in order to actually conquer somebody. So let's start doing just that. I'll start working on traders right here. Actually, they will be cheaper if I repair the village. So let's do that. let's fix the Devil's Village. And I'll probably use capital as well to actually make my units. So when I can, I'll reassign my hero again to my capital, so that it will all be nice. My unit requires some orders. Now, I'm very scared of making those guys walk around, because they costed quite a bit to improve. But as long as I don't give those guys bows, which I have no intention of doing right now, it should be fine. Even if I lose them, it's not a very big deal. I just lost a bit of industry. And they want to discover more things, like for example the Wizard Stone, which used to be very, very easy to find on Auriga. Now they are slightly more of a rare drop, but they're still awesome. Not only they look beautiful and amazing and hilarious, but also they're just awesome in general, and they give you a ton of everything. So anyway, production finished. That I didn't really care about, because I still have more in production queue, right? Right, everything is good. So let's just keep exploring, looking for ruins. Another manufacturing Kazanji village. I kinda want those guys. As wild walkers, I do not have access to flying units, and those guys are flyers, so that will be useful. And summer returned. That was a very peaceful and short winter, but then again, remember, the longer the game lasts, the worse the winters get. So this was just more or less a warning winter, just to say, hey, don't feel too confident now, will ya? So yeah, that's basically it. So this winter wasn't too bad. Factories officially discovered. As explained in my introducing video, they are very useful, and they also look cool. They are demons. When I first played Endless Legend, when I knew nothing that I'm doing, they're the second faction. No, the first faction I assimilated were the Vine Snakes ones. You know, the Hydra things mixed with vines. But I bought some of those demons on a marketplace and used them, and devs look at me fighting with one demon unit against a bunch of cavalry, and they were like, dude, are you sure you know what you're doing? I was like, yeah, you wrote it itself, you wrote it yourselves in design documents that flyers are very good against the cavalry, and actually the hilarious thing is, I was right, and I owned a lot of cavalry with just a demon unit. Since then they actually nerfed those demons, I believe. So yeah, that was fun. Anyway, I'll continue improving things, because I want to improve this Delver's village. Actually, it will only lower the Delver's cost in this particular city, but still I want to keep growing it, because I have such a big food growth in the city, I can afford to do so. I can also ascend my hero, which is what I will do in 2 turns when I finish making this improvement. I'll resend him to capital, or rather Hair, and I'll start spamming more things. For example, I'm not too tempted to go for titanium, then again I need to start working on titanium already, so let's just do it. Let's just do it so I can have access to it later down the line. More ruins, let's explore them and see what is inside. That's even more dust, come on game, give me a quest! You know you wanna, quests are useful. But then again I have a lot of dust, so that's at least something. And hi there! Yeah, those are demons, kinda intimidating. They used to just be killing you with claws, now they actually hold axes. I like them more with claws, I'll be entirely honest. And I would like it if they were able to breathe fire on me or something, because those guys actually feed on fire. They do not eat food, they eat fire, because they're boss like that. So anyway, anything else I should do? No, just move my units. Still and deal really. Let's continue scanning. Those are the Broken Lords lands, I recognize the color. So let's see what they've got. It looks like they weren't very lucky, because they are settled on terrain that looks to have a very unfriendly biome to them, with a lot of science and industry but no dust, which is the last thing that the Broken Lords want. Oh well, too bad. And I'm going to advance to the next era. Very nice! Age of Glory. I described it in my introducing video, so the bonuses of entering a new era are the same for every faction. So anyway, now we'll go back into our Ratio soundtrack, which you can hear in the background right now. It's not the loudest, I know, but I cannot make music any louder, because then you'll have troubles understanding me, which I understand can be already quite difficult. And hold on! Red, and that are the Necrophages, just settled over here. And somebody else settled over here! And those are the voters. No, those are the Broken Lords? Where did it... Okay, that's a problem. People are trying to steal good regions from me, and I really like this region. I really like this region, and it's still not stolen, so I can get over here and settle before somebody else does. And I'll try to do it. So, just because of it, I think I'll keep my scouts in the area and make sure that there are no settlers that would try and steal this region from me. And look! Untainted ruins, very nice. In case you're wondering, the difference between untainted ruins and normal ruins is that untainted ruins give you... not only have better odds of finding something inside of them, but they also give you better treasure if you do find some treasure inside, so that's very good. Let's reassign my hero to my capital, because I did finish making this, yeah, finish making what I wanted to in my second city. Let us go for public library and follow it up with, I can simply go for Borough Streets, I'm pretty sure. Where do I want to expand to? That's a fairly good question. I think I want to actually go for even more food production and a bit of forest as well, so let's go there. Also, this will give me access to more rivers. I could buy out a lot of things over there, but I would rather not. There are other things that require my immediate attention, like making an army in this town. Or actually, now that I think about it, this town, I don't think it will be ever as good as this one, just because this one has access to a river and whatnot, a lot of food. It can grow quite fast, and it has a reduced cost of dredges. I should have assigned left a hero over here. Oh well. Let's leave it as is. Let us actually... Yeah, why not? Let's speed up the production of those things. It costed me all my dust, but I'm fine with that. And then let us start working on dredges as soon as I get the Borough Streets. Meanwhile, in my main city, I'll do the exact same thing. I do not need just dredgers, because there is no river nearby, but I can easily go for extra units. So I will need more rangers, and I'll need more dredgers. Actually, dredgers I'll make in Mortia, because that's where I can make them slightly cheaper. This town will be my source of rangers. Also, I need a settler quite badly. But I do not want to get rid of population in my capital. Speaking of which, it's not actually working on food, which I want them to be working on. So let's do that. 5 times more population, very nice. And then I'll move a settler towards the right. And also forgot, new tech. First things first. I don't actually need the 10th walker. I need to have my rangers, and I need to have dredgers covering them. And once I have all of that, in order to activate my quest, remember, as you can see, it will require me to have a lot of range units and units for minor factions. So if I want to go for that, I will not have space in my army to go for walkers, I believe. So let's see what other options I've got. I can unlock the mercenary section of the marketplace, which is actually fairly tempting. Those mercenaries cost a lot, but they're usually very powerful. What else can I go for? More army slots on Empire. I'll probably need that to complete my quest, since at the start you don't have a lot of army slots in your units. What do I want to go for next? Probably one of the more powerful upgrades, like for example, forest management is very powerful, and in the carriages to actually move population to walk on on food, I mean. Since then, every walker will be even more productive than it would otherwise be. So I'll go for that next. And then I'll go for assisted tech. And I do not have assisted tech, but I can go for either more percentage of industry or more for industry on terrains with forest. And then I have a lot of forests, so this wouldn't be too useful for me. Alternatively, I can start generating boosts, but I have plenty of other things to actually work on. So that's not very tempting. I could go for watchtowers, they are decent, but they're not very useful for me right now, since I want to be the aggressor. Maybe just an accessory would be useful, maybe that's what I need. Let's think about that when we finish the first 2 techs though. We're not in a hurry in this regard. So, oh, I forgot about Empire Management. So anyway, every time you settle a city, the cost of your Empire actions increases. So right now, if I had 1 city, then maintaining my current empire plan would cost me 15 influence. I have a second city, they cost doubles, and now I've got 30 influence required to make to go for a new empire plan. This is something that lets you create, that disencourages you from creating 2 wide empires and encourages tall empire production, because as a wide empire you have more global influence production, and as such wide empires also can go into diplomacy more easily, since they'll be able to afford all those different things, like so. So there is that. However, smaller empires do not have to spend nearly as much influence on actually changing their empire plans. So that's the downside of being a wide or tall empire. So what do I want? I do want more happiness, but I don't have... Oh, come on, 80. I didn't notice it's 1040. I'm sorry. So I cannot go for a tier 2 improvement, and as you can see, the further there you go in the cost of a new empire plan, in the level of empire plan, the more it costs you influence. But I can go for a second tier 1. So what do I want out of tier 1s? I probably want lower unit cost. Since I'm fighting a lot of dust in ruins, and being able to buy on dredgers for cheap is something I am... yeah, I would like that. Why not? So let's do that. In terms of production, a lot of production has finished, that's fine. Let's have a quick look, and oh, what is that? all of a sudden there is the first Iron Legion in my borders. Those are 4 units of Volters. There's cavalry in there as well. If they attack my town right now, they can take it. I have no defenders. I didn't leave any defenders. I didn't expect those guys to show up and be very annoying all of a sudden. So I can make a range in 110, but this still puts me in a pretty bad spot. I need some infantry, because this is cavalry, and they will be able to advance and close on my position very, very quickly. Let's see, do those voters have enough influence to declare war on me? Let's have a quick look at them. That's their look. Hey, no, I keep clicking the wrong buttons. Why am I so bad? There we go. They have 124. Oh, they have more than enough to declare war on me. Yeah, this is bad. I didn't notice those guys before. You guys just stay over there, or actually, better yet, visit the ruins, please. I know I've been asking for quests all this time. I need dust. Give me dust. 160 dust. That's the power of untainted ruins. Yes, thank you very much. That should be more than enough to buy out another ranger. With 2 rangers, I have a bit more of a fighting chance. I cannot buy out a dredge, unfortunately they are very expensive, but another ranger will be fairly decent already. And combined with a hero, I will at least be able to deal some damage. I don't know, this cavalry is very threatening. Now you may be wondering, that doesn't look like cavalry. Well, voters are so also they don't need horses to have cavalry. Those guys are basically like, I don't know what to compare them to. Jumper for the movie / book Jumper. Basically the idea is they are like cavalry even though they don't have any mounted units that they are riding on. So they are scary, they are, trust me. And even though I can deal a lot of damage with my guys, if those guys just close in on me very quickly, I'll be dead anyway. So let's hope AI doesn't have the balls to declare war on me right away. They didn't, they're just scanning around, that's very good. And they moved even further away actually, I guess they're just scouting. Wow, they are... What? Oh, OMG, do you see how far they're moving? Wait, what? I'm sorry. Okay, AI is cheating apparently, or it was a bug. They do not have this much movement points, I can guarantee you. So that was kinda strange. Anyway, I guess there's no catching up to them now. And I bought my rangers for no reason, but it's actually good. Because you need to keep a solid, you know, garrison in your city, otherwise you may be, you know, surprised by a very, very big and powerful army that can wipe you out. And there's little you can do about that, unfortunately, sometimes. Which indicates to me that I need to also make an army of okay, I was worried for a second that this region has been taken. So anyway, I need to also make an army in Morsha. I'm working on borrowed streets. I can finish working because I do need this extra food production, why not? But then I'll just need to focus on dredgers non-stop and just spam them as much as I can. Meanwhile, those broken laws units, 3 of them, and those guys are very, very nice. They're tanky and they deal a lot of damage. Probably my favorite standing unit in the game out of the 4 factions that have been publicly announced. Because those guys, yes, they do not fire from distance, but they have very nice stats and I like them for it. Anyway, even if there are sellers in this army, I do not know anything about it, I will not know anything about it, and I cannot do anything about it. So let's just keep exploring. If those guys attack me, I'll lose some rangers. There's much I can do about it either, so that's a shame. Anyway, this video guys has been 40 minutes long. We have accomplished some things. I was finally able to settle a new city. I scouted around quite a bit. I'm still looking for... Hi there, that's a city. That's what I was looking for. Don't worry, they will not attack me or anything. But still, I was looking for basically opportunities to expand and more ruins. And I was very lucky with them. Although if not for the dust I got from the last ruins, I would be in a pretty bad spot as well. So I'm not going to complain too much about it. Anyway, I now actually have titanium, so before we end this video, let's have a quick look at what I can do with this titanium. As you can see, there's plenty of options. Titanium, generated glass steel improves your critical chance or initiative, one of the two. And while titanium is just this kind of beefy material that gives you just more raw power or critical. So that's the difference between glass steel and titanium most of the time at the very least. Anyway, since I did advance to the next era, I have access to tier 2 equipment, which I'll gladly start using. As for you, my dear dredgers, I will not spend any special resources on you, since you just can't afford it, let's be honest about it. So I'll give you tier 2 equipment, but it will still be iron equipment. So yeah, have fun and good luck. Still, those hammers are pretty big. I mean, no. I do not want to leave those strangers. Lose those strangers. So, I mean, look at this hammer. It looks awesome. I mean, it looks also very heavy. Not something I would want to use in combat, but it looks awesome regardless. Anyway, apply the changes. As for my rangers, I'm obviously going to upgrade them as well. Shame I'm only doing this now, after advancing to the next era, but I'll deal with... Where is my bow? I should have a tier 2 glass steel bow. I do not see it right now. Strange. I do see a tier 2 crossbow, but that's extra 5 damage, and whereas this bow gives me extra 6 damage, so I'll still stick to with the bow. Oh, that's tier 1 as well. Alright, I didn't have tier 2 weapons. I forgot, silly me. So right, I cannot improve those guys actually at all. I mean, I can, but I don't want to give them armor for the reasons I explained before. Either way, 10:43. I think it's a good time to end this videocast. I'll try to record and upload the next one as soon as possible, because I can see that you clearly want to see those things. So I'll try my best to allow you to do just that. The voters looks like they're just going for the minor faction annihilation. I'm fine with that. I'll send this army to go ahead and grab this quest. I know it's a risky move to leave my town unprotected, but at the very worst, I think I'll have the army to take it back from the units with Mosha, especially if I make more units. I am willing to take this risk, I really am. And I can just keep making units in this town as well, so let's make even more rangers. And also focus a bit more on food, because I do need it. So there's that, and seriously, I know I should end this videocast because it shouldn't be too long, but at the same time, I don't want to. I want to keep recording. Oh well, I'll just pause here and continue recording right away. So, thank you very much for watching. It was PANCZASU, also known as the Mighty Mix Spammer. If you managed to enjoy my work, then please by all means do leave a like, leave a comment, because I like reading them. I try to reply to them every time I can as well. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you online.